Hey everybody, how's it going? A little bit different setup this time. Obviously, as you guys know, I have people over this weekend, but everybody's in the living room playing Mario Kart, so I'm actually in my room having to record this on my phone and then have the image up instead. So a little bit different. Gonna go through predictions relatively quickly here and focus on all the major points that need to be hit. So first game we have up on the docket is Monaco versus Singularity. We talked about this one a little bit briefly on stream in regards to results and how it's all played out. Singularity has gotten some pretty big wins, primarily against their kind of rival series opponents in Endpoint last week. And at the beginning of the season, they had a really tough game against Vitality. As for Monaco, we had this team kind of pegged as a team that was going to be coming in pretty early on, a team that we had expectations that they were going to be the most RLCS looking team, and they still do. It's just they lack that defensive front that they really need. They have difficulties keeping possession on offense, and then when they do find themselves on defense, they really fall apart. For those reasons, I have to give the edge to Singularity. I've got them written down 3-1, and I don't really see that changing in any capacity. As much as I'd like to see Monaco kind of come in with the mentality of we've got nothing to lose, and that loosens them up, I feel like it's just going to create more opportunities for Singularity that they'll be able to punish. Second game of the day is Mouse versus Endpoint. Originally, we had Mouse pretty convincingly here, but that's changed. I'd have 3-2, and next to that result, I have Arju as a sub. If you guys haven't heard the news or didn't watch the latest videos, Scrubkilla is no longer with Mouse. Apparently, he wasn't happy with his contract or something happened, and with 2 weeks left of the season, both not only the regionals, but also the last week of league play, week 8, we are not seeing Mouse have Scrub. So they're going to be playing with their sub, Arju. If you guys don't know Arju, he is a player who has been in rank S before in 6-mans and is currently residing in rank X, has a lot of pop-off potential. It's just a matter of the consistencies. Pretty common for a lot of the players. Think like Chicago, Justin, and those of the sort, First Killer even, that are mechanically gifted but just haven't gotten that exposure to the pro scene yet. So it's hard to say how he's going to do as a sub playing through both their series this week. We did see Garen sub in for Rogue after Wonder had internet connection issues and clutch it up, but that was only one game. So Mouse is playing a very solidified team in Endpoint. Endpoint looks very solid all around, even though they did drop to Singularity last week. It was a close match. And with that, I think in this circumstance, I think the veteran experience has to go to Mouse. Like, not to discredit Endpoint, you've got Cookster and Speed, who both are two players that overall are very talented. And even though this player, we don't know what his capabilities are truly at the RLCS stage, because he's never played an RLRS either, I think they'll be okay. I think it's an interesting circumstance and a really exciting opportunity for Arju, and I hope he doesn't let that overwhelm him. I want him to take this experience to realize he has the ability to make a name for himself and kind of jump that RLRS and then RLCS kind of steps. If he does really well here, people can kind of turn heads and be like, okay, shit, like this guy's got some skill. This is someone we possibly want to pick up. And it could be a really good opportunity. So I hope he doesn't let that pressure get to him. Obviously, easier said than done. And maybe we see, you know, Cookster and Speed move up because they realize like, hey, we've got to, you know, we got to do the heavy lifting here. So I hope it creates some opportunities either way. Don't count on Endpoint. This could be a coin toss. And this one also, depending on how it goes with Arju, is going to determine how I recommend the predictions for Barcelona game later on. Third game of the day is Barcelona versus TSM. Can't see any reasons as to why TSM will win. Sometimes they come hot out of the gate and get a couple of victories, and that's why I give them 3-1 in the loss. I just don't see anything. This is where Barcelona needs to start hitting that hot trend. They have been looking kind of lackluster the past couple of weeks and trouble finding their footing. I think Roniki's probably been the most consistent. This is a chance for Barcelona where a team like TSM that really struggles to find offense, and yes, they've had moments where Magnus has popped off, but that was one time. So this could be Barcelona a big moment. Devo needs to work those dribbles. He needs to work the midfield. You know, Flakes needs to support that and move up and create pass play opportunities because they are going to be there. So this is a TSM essentially with nothing to lose, and that can be dangerous. But at the same time, Barcelona has a lot on the line and they need to show up here. Either way, Barcelona, I think that their capabilities, whether they're playing a defensive game or not, I think we've seen what they can do on defense with Devo averaging 10 saves a game if he needs to. Barcelona, I think either way has offensive capabilities as compared to TSM, so Barcelona gets the win pretty handily. Reciprocity looks like a shadow of their former selves, and it sucks to see. I still think there's a lot of potential. I just haven't seen it lately. Very defensive against Dignitas, and we've seen what Dignitas does to teams like that. Dig still looks like one of the best teams in the world, even though they've had a loss recently, but overall, Dignitas looks stellar. Offense is going to be clicking. They looked really good against Sandrock, even though Sandrock won. What we got out of that first game was exactly what I want to see out of Dignitas last week, like Tuesday. But again, Dignitas 3-0 in league play. I think they end out really well going into regionals and possibly claim first place. Fifth game, we got Barcelona versus Mouse. Again, this is one, like I said, is going to depend on how Arju plays. I have no idea how he's going to perform. If you guys don't know, he's actually Italian. Had a discussion about that on stream today as well. Maybe that connection with Cooks. I'm pulling at straws here, but hopefully something comes out. But you have to give the advantage. I mean, you got a full dedicated roster against a guy who's got one series ever in a pro scene under his belt. Barcelona, I think you should be able to take it unless we can see some of that Mouse magic. Obviously, this prediction I'll probably change throughout the day based upon how Mouse plays against Endpoint earlier in match number 2. But we'll see how it plays out because obviously Endpoint is a totally different team than Barcelona. Last but not least, we got the highlight match of the week. We got Reno Vitality versus Veloce. This was flexed to the last game of the day because of what it means. Veloce obviously in a really good place standing wise, as well as Vitality in that first place potential. So this match has a lot on the line. It could be a lot, but I think Vitality has proven that they made the right choice. They keep trending in the right direction. When Alpha is the least performing player on your team, you know you're in a good spot. Alpha's getting more and more comfortable. You're seeing him make more defined touches. The other guy's looking great, and even though it's not as impactful from KDOT from what I've seen, it's still enough to get victories. Like, they're doing a really good job of controlling the field. As the series goes on, they get more and more comfortable. They play even faster, and that's when they really start to overwhelm. So if Veloce is going to win this, they cannot play defense. And when they don't play defense, bad things happen. So they may be able to move up a little bit, pressure, catch Vitality while they're a little bit shaky, a little bit slow. But as this series progresses, Vitality is just going to look stronger and stronger, and it spells trouble for Veloce. I don't see an individual player on Veloce that can match up against anybody on Vitality. Maybe Flame does some magic in the middle, but even with that, Freaky's going to be putting on shots against some of the best defenders in the world. So honestly, I think this one's a really tough matchup for Veloce. But if they're going to get a game, it's going to be early, maybe out of the gate, but then after that, Vitality just dominates. So 3-1 Vitality should be a clean one. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking around and putting up with this pretty scuffed version of predictions. But at the same time, before the whole coronavirus thing happens and we all go into lockdown, trying to spend some times with friends and family. But if you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys enjoyed the content, obviously make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, as well as drop your comments down below with any thoughts and predictions you may have. But that does it for me, guys. I will catch you guys all next time. We'll see you probably Monday for some highlight videos from the watch party. And speaking of the watch party, immediately after this video, if you guys join over at twitch.tv/Lawler, I will be watching all the games live. Depending on how late I stay up tonight playing with friends, we may not watch the beginning 3. The first 3 games kind of don't really have too much meaning to them other than like who goes to regionals or not, which we're pretty solidified on already. But last week we ended up waking up around like 1 game into match number 4, which is Rec versus Dig. So we should be live in somewhere in that time, and I hope to see you guys there. Other than that, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. Peace.